2017, I marched through the streets of New York with 500,000 of my closest friends, or I've heard 750,000 of my closest friends. I'm not sure that there is a way to accurately assess how many people marched, but I feel certain that one man and one man alone knows how many people marched in New York and DC and around the world, and that is the same man that knows how many people attended his inauguration. I also feel safe in asserting that one day, in the not too distant future, alternative facts will prove that I went to an event that in fact did not take place at all. The truth, if you were there, however, was that it was less of a march than a walk very slowly and frequently stand. There were just too many people to really move. And I have to tell you, it was glorious. I was confused at the time by the sense of joy that pervaded the march. I mean, we were positively exuberant. But a week later, I'm not at all confused. I think we were all just so fucking happy to see others like us in this life. Others who shared the same, dare I co-opt the term, worldview. I mean, I think after the election, we were all feeling so alone, even though we were meeting online and in our communities, but this had weight and mass, and it proved that the Pence-Trump vision of this country and the world is not the only vision. I think we needed to physically see each other and elbow each other and trip each other and jostle each other to offset the malaise we've been feeling. That shit was like group therapy. You've been feeling? Me too, me fucking too! Our devastation and incredulity and horror found solace in each other's eyes, in each other's arms, each other's smiles, and each other's anger. Yeah, we were just so fucking happy to be angry together. And too often, I think, anger and love get pitted against one another, cast as adversaries. But on January 21st, anger was the product of love threatened, and anger was the energy of love protected. And it was a spectacular thing to witness and an overwhelming moment to be a part of. Right before the march, I met a woman, old enough that when she referred to the young people, she was actually referring to me. She was a magnificent dark-skinned black woman, and her bearing was strong and solid, her smile a flashlight, and her eyes silent movies that told the stories of 1 million hurts and 1,000,001 ascensions, a feat so much easier in a Facebook meme than in actual real life. And it was very clear that she knew life in all its forms of grace and pain. And we spoke casually of our weekend plans, hers to be home cooking for her family because she loves the smell wafting through the house of food cooking, and I told her my plans to march. She said she was no longer able to march, but that her heart was filled with hope at the energy swelling up in the country. And she seemed to warm herself with an internal furnace of optimism. I think it's just born in some, maybe it's hard won. I have no idea, I do not have one. So I tried to fan myself with my hands. I literally raised my arms and motioned the words that came out of her mouth with the hope that they would thaw my own cynicism. I asked her name, Frederica. I told her I would march for her. Frederica, I marched for you. I marched for those who did not have the luxury of marching. I marched for women. I marched for the impoverished. I marched for queer people and trans people and black people and Jewish people and Native American people and Muslim people and atheists. I marched for immigrants. I marched for the uninsured and the soon-to-be uninsured. And a remarkable thing happened. The more I added to the list, the shorter it became, because rather quickly our seeming separate groupings began to overlap. And rather quickly it became obvious that many people, most in fact, fall into 2 or 3 or 20 of those categories. And rather quickly that list becomes one single word: human. world, we marched, but we must remember to march towards something. We have to go home and continue the work every single day to write postcards and make phone calls and make groups together that are gonna go do more things. To quote the last line from Tony Kushner's sprawling and brilliant epic Angels in America, a line that also used to confuse me as the last line of a play. The great work begins. On January 21st, 2017, the great work began. And I was fucking proud to be a part of it.